Have you ever noticed why some products feel instantly familiar while others feel confusing from the very first use? That feeling doesn't happen by chance. It comes from something called a mental model. In my last video, I mentioned that in the system iceberg, the deepest layer is the mental model. Today, let's understand what a mental model actually is and why it matters so much in design. A mental model is the picture people already have in their mind about how something works based on their past experiences. The term mental model was first introduced by psychologist Kenneth Craig. Later, usability expert Don Norman used this concept to explain how people understand and interact with both digital and physical products. Let's look at a simple example. If we see a stepper in a form, we immediately understand where we are in the process. For example, if it shows step 3, we know we are currently on the third step and that only one step remains to complete the form. No explanation is needed because we already understand the pattern. The same thing happens with physical objects. A flat plate on a door tells us to push, while a handle clearly tells us to pull. When we see a knob, we instinctively know that turning it to the right increases speed, volume, or temperature, whatever it is, and turning it to the left decreases it. This understanding comes from everyday experiences with fan regulator, microwave knobs, water taps, and shower controls. These patterns are already stored in our memory, which is why we can use them without any instructions. Now, when we design a product, there are two important models at play: the implementation model and the conceptual model. The implementation model is how developers think about the system, its internal logic, background processes, components, and how everything works technically. This model focuses on functionality and implementation. It is complex, overwhelming, and usually never shown to user because it is difficult to learn and understand. Between the implementation model and the user's mental model lies the conceptual model. This is where designers step in. The conceptual model is how we choose to explain the system to users through interfaces, interactions, labels, visuals, and patterns so they can quickly understand and use it. The closer the conceptual model is to the user's mental model, the faster and more intuitively user can get started. Think about a car. If we remove the dashboard, seats, and panels, we would see wires, circuits, mechanical parts, and complex systems. All of these are essential for the car to function, but for a user, they would be overwhelming and impossible to operate. Instead, users interact with simple familiar controls like steering wheel, pedals, and gear lever. That is exactly our role as product designers. We bridge the gap between the implementation model and the user's mental model. We hide complexity and present simple, familiar interactions. But to do this well, we first need to research and understand user's mental model. There is a great and funny line from UX consultant, speaker, and author Joey Natoli that perfectly fits here. Don't reinvent the wheel. If something is already well established in the user's mental model, redesigning it just for the sake of innovation can actually do more harm than good. For example, if you open apps like Uber, Ola, Namayatri, Rapido, you will notice that their interfaces are quite similar. That's because this structure already exists in the user's mental model. Users know where to enter a pickup location, how to select a destination, and how to book a ride. If we suddenly change the structure or invent a completely new flow, users would take longer to understand the interface and complete a simple task, like booking a cab. Good design doesn't force users to learn something new. It respects what they already know. I hope this helps you understand what a mental model is and why, as product designers, we should always aim to align the implementation model and the conceptual model as closely as possible with the user's mental model while designing a product. Thank you so much for listening me. Have a great day.